So, we are back here in the Hong Kong-Taiwan Friendly Cup 2016.
Yep.
We will soon stream the top 8 match between Cyrus from Hong Kong and John from Taiwan.
Right. Looking at the top 8 matchings, there are 4 Hong Kong players and 4 Taiwan players. Pretty even this time. And the matchups are pretty interesting. Apart from the 4-5 matchup, all the other matchups... Wait, no. There are 3 of the matchups which feature a Hong Kong-Taiwan matchup.
So, let's jump into the match right away. So, the bottom of the screen, we have Cyrus from Hong Kong, and the top of the screen, we have John from Taiwan. And it's a top 8 match, and we're seeing John's teams is using a dual primals teams featuring the Kangaskhan, Gengar, Smeagol, and also the Whimsicott.
Cyrus, on the other hand, has his pseudo Wolfie Glick core with Rayquaza, Kyogre, Raichu, him on top, and also Kangaskhan and Crobat as support options.
Yeah, what do you think about what John is using?
I think Cyrus has to be very careful about which Pokemon he chooses, because as you can see, John has the Whimsicott Gengar combination of Pokemon.
Yes, this is disabled and anchored.
Yep.
Could be a very troublesome too.
And with the Shadow Tag, you cannot switch out of that on-card disabled trap.
But fortunately, Cyrus has a choice of using the Raichu and Hitmontop to avoid being knocked into the Shadow Tags.
Yep. But then, Gengar being a Ghost type does not take any damage from Kangaskhan's normal type attacks or Hitmontop's fighting type attacks.
Unless the Kangaskhan has the ability of
Scrappy.
Yep. So, Game 1 for the topic match of the Hong Kong-Taiwan Friendly Cup 2016. And here comes the lead from John. We see the Kangaskhan Whimsicott from John. On the other hand, Cyrus used a Kangaskhan Crobat lead.
Yep. It's a pretty safe lead for Cyrus, I would say.
True, but there are several options that both players can do. It's like locating each other, power punch, and also doing takeout. It's because currently John is not using the Gengar to knock Cyrus Pokemon's. It
also depends on what move that this Whimsicott has, what item it has. There are so many different options that you can use with
Yes,
Whimsicott.
we can have Tailwind, Taunt,
Encore.
Yeah.
It could also be an offensive variant with Grass
Knot and Moonblast.
Yeah. Then I think we will see Tailwind coming out from both of the support Pokemon.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Will Cyrus's Kangaskhan fake out that Whimsicott, or will it fake out that Kangaskhan looking for a speed try?
And we see the Mega Evolutions from Kangaskhan's of Cyrus' side. And the opposing Kangaskhan is also Mega Evolving.
It might be that John has a bulkier Kangaskhan, or it means that Cyrus has one of the speed
But the opposing Kangaskhan using the fake out onto the Kangaskhan? Wow. That's incredible. But we see a taunt on the
Whim.
And the Crobat's couldn't use the taunt. The first turn gives a massive advantage on John.
Yeah, that's the thing about Whimsicott. It has so many different options.
Yeah, we seldom see taunts on Whimsicott indeed.
Yep.
But that proves it. The taunt is still a very viable option.
Definitely.
So we see the Moonblast from the Whimsicott, not able to pick up the KOs here, but is a
And it
live
does
off.
show that it has a life orb.
And the Power Punch! Cyrus should be losing the speed tie this time.
Yep. So it does show that these two Kangaskhan are probably both max speed Kangaskhan.
Yes. So, the Kyogre switching here. But probably, John is bringing his own Groundons to nerf the water type attacks from the Kyogre.
But then, of course, it also has to be wary of a Rayquaza switching possibly.
And
Which would air lock the weather.
will the Whimsicott have the Grass Knot? So, Crota is switching out.
Into the Rayquaza comes out. Will we see a Grass Knot?
No, we see a Protect instead. And we see the Tailwind from Whimsicott. What a turn for John. And a double edge onto the Kyogre being protected.
Yeah, a pretty safe turn from John on this turn. And a pretty good plays for these few turns. Making the right reads, setting up the Tailwind for his restricted Pokemon and back to make good use of.
So John has revealed 3 moves on his Whimsicott. Is it using the last move? Is it an Encore or something else? But Cyrus is switching out his Rayquaza into Crobat. And we see the Moonblast. Incoming to the Crobat, a very nice switch. But the double edge.
Does it target down the Kyogre? Yes, it does.
And knock it out.
Yeah, with Power Punch, Kangaskhan becomes very hard to deal with.
And the recoil damage doesn't knock out the Kangaskhan. So,
But it does put this Kangaskhan into KO range of Extreme Speed.
so the problem of Cyrus is how can he deal with this lead in this turn?
I don't think Cyrus has much of a chance to win this game. He only has 2 of these Pokemon left. He hasn't. He has the speed disadvantage, and the opponent does not have his legendaries out. This does not look good for Cyrus.
So the next Extreme Speed onto the Whimsicott. And Moonblast activating the Focus Sash of the Rayquaza. Double Edge should be finishing off the Crobat. Yes, it does. But the recoil damage knocks out the Kangaskhan. But 1 Pokemon versus 3 Pokemons. So Cyrus should seriously consider how he should play next turn.
Well, this last turn does give Cyrus the opportunity to scout a bit about the opponent's movesets. Not only movesets, but the EV spreads. For example, an Extreme Speed into that Kyogre would tell him a bit about how much defensive investment it has.
Yes. And also, I think that Cyrus is kind of fear of the opponent's Gengar indeed. Because he doesn't bring any of his Raichu and Hitmontop to the field. So,
And then Raichu and Hitmontop would not be scared of Gengar because they have respectively the Eject Button and Volt Switch to switch out of that potential trap.
a very easy game for John.
Yeah, but now we know that the Whimsicott is rather offensive with that Moonblast,
Yes.
holding a Life Orb as well.
So, audience, you're watching the Hong Kong-Taiwan Friendly Cup 2016. We are having a top 8 match between Cyrus Ord from Hong Kong and John Tse of Taiwan. So John is using a dual primals teams featuring Kangaskhan, Gengar, Whimsicott, and the Sprinkles. And on the other hand, Cyrus is using pseudo Wolfix Railgrass teams with Kangaskhan and Krobet, replacing the original Bronzons and Gengar.
Yeah, these two players are probably top players in Hong Kong and Taiwan. You can follow them both on Twitter. Cyrus's handle is at Cyrus1119, and you can find Johnson at SUN622111112.
Yeah, you can.
Or you can search TW Johnson VGC.
Yeah, which is and Sun is spelling as SUN Sun.
Yeah.
So time is running short. And now we see the Gengar and Whimsicott leads from Jaws.
I love using Gengar and Whimsicott, not just because of the potential Encore Disable Trap, but also because of the other various options that they can provide if the opponent is scared of the Encore Disable Trap.
But the fourth moves of Whimsicott is still not revealed yet. Maybe it's some kind of fake tier.
Oh yeah, Fake Tears is also very useful on Whimsicott, with the Prancer giving it a priority to the non-damaging move, and Fake Tear reducing the opponent's special defense by 2 stages. Gengar can Sludge Bomb into something and hit it very heavily, even if it's something that resists it, like a Groudon, or even something with a very high special defense stat,
like Kyogre. But probably Kyogre will survive that Fake Tear's Sludge Bombs. But yeah, we see the Mega Gengars here initiating the Shadow Touch and knocking both Cyrus Pokemons on the field. So, a fake out onto the Whimsicott, and an Ice Beam to finish off the Whimsicott.
Beautiful read by Cyrus. Now, yeah, that's 1 down. 3 more to go.
Yeah, three to go. But
the fake out not allowing the opposing Whimsicott to set up a tailwind or do anything at all.
There is a slight advantage on the Cyrus side, because this turn, although the Shadow Tag is activated, he still could use
a water type attack, yeah.
A wall switch and
bring Rayquaza in from the back.
Yeah, and if that is needed, maybe he can even bring his Hitmontop into the field and fire and intimidate off to the ground first.
Yep. The fact that Gengar used Protect last turn means that it's unlikely to be able to use Protect this turn. And that gives it a good chance of...
So, a Sludge Bomb onto the Raichu. No poisonings, and absorb this Raichu nerf it very well. And the Volt Switch probably bring in the Rayquaza. So,
and as predicted, the Rayquaza does come in.
And the airlock is activated. The hidden power onto that slot should be a hidden power Ice.
That being said, Rayquaza hangs
but
on.
But the Origin Pulse connected. Were they able to knock out the Gengar? No, but Groudon is knocked with ease. So, John is using his own Kyogre, and it becomes a 3-2 matchup here.
It's a 4-2 matchup, isn't it?
Oh, 42, yes.
Yeah, I like the position that Cyrus has right now.
Because he still has two fake out users.
Yep. So you figure out users in the back, and even
But
though
he must be very
he's trapped-
cautious because there's only two Pokemon that he can't use to knock out the Gengar, the Raichu, and also the Kyogres.
Yeah, but then with his own Kyogre at maximum health and the potential Raichu to absorb any lightning type of electric type attacks, it's not a bad board position.
So we see the Mega Evolutions from the Rayquaza, bringing up the Delta Streams field. And we see the Extreme Speed connected onto the Kyogres.
It's probably just...
Well, and the critical hit,
critical
doing
hit.
around 50% of the damage. Sludge bombs onto the Kyogres. And what will both Kyogres do? Oh, they missed the Kyogres! And the Water Spouts connected.
Yeah, if
That's
Cyrus
a
had
misplay.
if Cyrus had not Mega Evolved his Rayquaza, the Thunder would definitely.
No,
hit
it's still
the Rain.
70% because
Oh, Airlock. Yeah.
yeah,
sorry.
Alok.
So
So
now Rain has been removed from the field.
and the only Thunder move that they can use is
And if Cyrus's Kyogre chooses to use Thunder, it will hit
But-
his own.
and a protect from the opposing Gengar and the Kyogres. Oh, John really protects very well. But no, it's a double protect. I'm
But
not
now
sure
we know which.
Kyogre is
Yeah.
faster. It's Cyrus.
Yeah.
So we see a sludge bombs onto the Raichu. Will we be able to knock it out? No, but the poison it. A Volk switch on the Raichu onto the Kyogre. And bringing back to the field with
The last Pokemon in Cyrus's team, which will
Hitmontop.
be the Hitmontop.
firing off an immaterial intimidate. But we see the Origin Pulse connected on Cyrus Kyogre, knocking out the Kyogres and doing a very fair amount of
No,
damage.
Does it knock out the Kyogre?
Not yet. And the Water Spout just did a minimal damage to both Pokemons on and it gets critical on the Hitmontop.
And Hitmontop is switched out with its eject button, and Raichu can come back in to fake out or just attack directly.
But it's a poisoning is able to knock out the Raichu. It does.
Oh well.
Never mind.
Now Hitmontop can come back in and
Yeah,
fake out.
Hitmontop still has the access of a feint and an attack should do.
Yeah.
So we will jump right away towards game 3 of this result.
Both of these matches have been relatively quicker.
Yes, because both players are using very aggressive play.
Did you like the adjustments that Cyrus made to the game 2?
I do, because using the usual modes that Groove is using is still the best that he can do.
But then the Kangaskhan and crowback would not be useful in this scenario, would it?
Maybe so, but it depends. So sorry for there is some kind of problems with current settings. Oh, we're back here.
Now it depends on whether Johnson will switch up those leads again.
Maybe he will bring the Smeagol. That makes it.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Smeagol yet.
Yeah, maybe the Smeagol is a scarf.
Oh no.
I don't like the scarf Smeagol. Everyone hates it.
You don't like Smeagol, Cyrus doesn't like it even more. But yeah. Maybe John was more aggressive in game 2, and did that affect his game? And switching up the leads.
Yeah, the Gengar whimsical is quite quite offensive lead in my opinions. So jumped right away to game 3. But maybe his whimsical doesn't have the access to protect. And that means that
we haven't seen his fourth move yet.
yeah, maybe if that's the case, then it's fair that John can't do anything about the lead.
Well, John goes back to the lead he used in game 1 with Whimsicott and Kangaskhan. Now we see if Cyrus can find a way to deal with this lead.
Now, will we see the fake out trade between two players, or maybe the fake out into the Kangaskhan, but that poses the risk that it fake out into an inner focus Kangaskhan.
Yeah. Kangaskhan could possibly fake out the Kyogre, but not if Raichu fakes out Kangaskhan first. But then if the Kangaskhan has into focus, it will not flinch from that fake out. Kyogre will probably want to Ice Beam into that Whimsicott as well, because that Whimsicott does pose a big nuisance to Cyrus' team. Potentially, though, the Whimsicott also has Grass Knot.
Yes, Grass is still a very threatening move against the main attackers, Kyogres of the Cyrus side.
At the same time, Whimsicott could set up a Tailwind if Raichu goes for the fake out onto the Kangaskhan.
Now, decision-making time is running short. We will soon be able to see what moves both sides are using. Now, Kyogre is using Protect, and the Kangaskhan is not Mega Evolving. So, fake out into the Kyogres of the Moonblast. Wow, a very aggressive turn for Cyrus, with a Nuzlocke paralyzing the Kangaskhan.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm using a Whimsicott team, I like to put Safeguard on my Whimsicott, just because Raichu's Nuzzles can paralyze the whole team and cause a lot of trouble.
But on the other hand, it forces Cyrus to switch the Kyogres because he really don't want to.
We haven't seen an Encore from.
Yeah, but I would presume that Encore is the most probable move of the
because Mega Gengar has been shown. We haven't seen Disable from Mega Gengar. Neither have we seen Encore from Whimsicott yet.
So Kyogre is coming back, switching in the Hitmontop.
Kangaskhan doesn't like this at all.
And Kangaskhan should be Mega Evolving. Yes.
Yeah, Kangaskhan has one level of attack drop, and it's paralyzed.
And we see the Moonblast coming into the Hitmontop. Oh, but it's critical hit and an effective one.
I'm not sure the Hitmontop would have been able to take a regular Moonblast without.
Well, a very important time for Cyrus because he need to choose what moves that he's going to absorb the double edge from the Kangaskhan. He chose the Kyogre.
Then this double edge is going to be at -1 attack, and the Kangaskhan might not be able to attack. But it does, and it connects with this Kyogre.
Doing half amount of the damage to the Kyogre. So Raichu is coming back on the field.
Now Raichu is free to fake out that Kangaskhan, which is Mega Evolved.
And also there is an option of using a Vogue Switch, so to nerf the switch-ins of the ground bombs.
Kyogre might also want to go for an Ice Beam onto that
But
one.
we see the fake outs from the Raichus and the Sucker Punch of the Kangaskhan onto the Kyogres, doing as much damage as you can. Origin Pulse missed it. The Whimsicott, though, knock out the Kangaskhan.
Yeah, Cyrus has to be a bit more careful going into the later stages of this match with the Kyogre, which is the main way to deal damage to the opposing team. Having so much damage.
You don't like the Smeagol, and I don't like the Smeagol.
Is this a Choice Scarf Smeagol?
Alright, I don't really know it, because it's the first appearance of the Smeagols from John's side.
Yeah, Cyrus wants to protect his Kyogre as much as possible.
Oh, it's a King Shield!
Wow!
And we see the tailwinds coming from the... And the Nuzzle doesn't connect it. So the Moody continues to boost the speed right away. So, a very high speed Smeagol and Whimsicott now at the field.
Yeah. You can imagine, though, that Johnson has Groudon in the back that he wants to save for as long as possible.
No, but it's a Kyogre.
Oh, it's the Kyogre.
So, everything depends on whether the Smeagol could connect the Dark Voice. It connect with at least one of them. Will it connect both? Oh, both.
Oh, both of these Pokemon
was
are going to
connected.
sleep. Cyrus will probably hope that his Pokemon will wake up the next turn after not moving this turn.
Definitely. So a Protect. So we see the follow me's from John's Smeagol finally, and the Water Spout, knocking out both Pokemon. A very unfortunate turn for Cyrus for the switch-ins of Hypnotot.
Yep, and now that we know that the Smeagol has followed me, there's not much of a chance that Cyrus will be able to pull this off with only one Rayquaza.
Yeah.
Because a Dragon Ascent, even if it critical hits, will hit into the Smeagol instead of that Kyogre. Yeah, as we saw from the previous games, Cyrus's Rayquaza has a moveset of Dragon Ascent, Extreme Speed, Sword Stance, and Protect. there's not much you can do. I'm not sure that even a critical hit with the Dragon Descent would knock out that Kyogre.
Yeah, it doesn't matter quite now. So, congratulations to John for winning the top league match of this friendly cup. So the Dark Boy is connected. And we'll see the Ice Beams.
We will see the Ice Beam. Might not be able...
oh, there's a critical. No, it's still not a critical, but... Wow. The Kyogre is heavily invested in the special attack. So, we'll be back in very soon, streaming the games from Jeremy, as I know he won the top 8 games. So, thank you all for watching, and see you soon.
Yep, that was a very exciting close series.
Yes.
We'll be back soon.